and welcome to the We Only Like Movies Cinecast. I'm Teddy, and I'm here with David and Frankie. Um, so last episode went very interestingly, to say the
Haywire.
least.
Terrible. You'll never
um,
see it.
In the quantum realm.
Yeah, we just messed up the recording, but this one we got it figured out. So hopefully, and this will come out. Hopefully.
yeah, hopefully. That's a big hopefully.
Hopefully it doesn't get.
Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we also don't have one of our members here, so hopefully he will be here in the next episode.
Yeah, that'll happen sometimes. Like some people won't be here, but at least every time an episode comes out, there will be 3 of us here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But also what's crazy is that we're actually recording this because that's been a big difficulty for the past, I don't know, month or two. So
Yeah, we've just been busy, but now
with
to
the
unfortunate circumstances.
whole coronavirus pandemic is really like putting everything to a grinding
That was
halt.
a good transition. Yeah.
We're gonna get better at these. Yeah. But honestly, it's just been so weird. Like,
Yes.
David, you said that your school was canceled,
Like I
right?
mentioned, for the rest of the year in online school, which sucks because I was really looking forward to do all my senior activities.
Yeah.
Prom, grad night, we were going to go to Universal Studios.
Oh, dude.
Six Flags.
That's
I have
rough.
never been to Six Flags, and it got canceled. So
Oh.
that really sucked. But, yeah. But
Everything-
in May, I'm going to be doing this film program, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh,
So.
that's sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like get ahead into film school or hopefully, but it's definitely gonna get me a job.
Nice.
That's
That's
great.
awesome. That's
Go for it.
so
Yeah,
sick.
some of the people became writers on this, so
Very cool.
that's
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
So what have you guys been doing self-isolating? Have you guys been watching any movies?
Another great transition there. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. No, it was, oh man.
I was just trying to get us back on track.
No,
that's
it's
why.
good. Yeah, absolutely. No, movies have literally, that's all I have been doing. Last month I watched 45 movies.
Wow.
And hopefully I should have
Five?
a video. 45. Yeah. So hopefully this month I should get a video out about that because I'm like, I got a lot to say about some of them.
I'm just trying to watch a lot of classics. And I watched Inception finally, which I really enjoyed.
Nice. Oh, I'm so proud.
And
Anyway.
I rewatched. It's pretty fitting now. And it's actually really realistic to what would happen. Like we're not at the level that is in that movie. It's like the worst case scenario, and it's done really.
Right.
As
Yeah.
a really good soundtrack.
Oh, actually, I am so excited to watch it now because, like, I always really like movies with good soundtracks, and I'm just kind of like waiting. I'm like, okay, is this
It's
another
like a
generic
lot
one?
of synth,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm hyped.
but it's not like 80s generic stuff. It's like really droning and just
Oh.
it really
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, so I think one good thing to come out of this whole coronavirus pandemic thing is giving more time for like watching movies and things like this in general, because I don't think if it was for this coronavirus pandemic we would actually be doing this episode because our lives were just so busy beforehand.
I need to watch movies, man. I'm still working on that video essays. I haven't even seen them again. I need to give them a rewatch.
Yeah, I'm working on some stuff too. I've been doing a lot of writing.
Very cool. Yeah.
I tortured my weekend.
What you do?
So since Predator Hunting Grounds came out, and because I'm getting hyped, I don't know why, but I watched the Alien Predator movies, and I hate myself for it.
Oh.
The first, I haven't seen the second one, but I just know it's bad.
Haven't seen any.
The action and the soundtrack is alright. The story is just so weak in the first one. The second one beats it, but the has the worst lighting possible. It's so damn dark.
Yeah, I saw Chris Duckman's reviews. Very. What's a weird trend with those in the 2001? I think it was the worst.
Oh yeah.
To get to the chopper line.
I hated that part.
It's so stupid, like not cool when you say it. Only Arnold could say it to make it cool.
Get to the chopper! Ah!
Oh, I feel like some of
I
the
need Predator. That's another class. One of the best.
Okay, I think I watched that. I think, but I barely remember any of it. Like it's been so long. Oh, I just remember.
I tried to watch it a while ago, but I was super tired, and I just wanted to be
Yeah.
respectful to the movie.
I feel like you have to be in like the perfect
So,
mood for that, because if you're not in for that
You do.
80s cheese, then you're gonna be like you're gonna be
yeah,
kind of
I'm
overwhelmed.
gonna get a bunch of popcorn when I watch that movie.
Yeah, you really. I think for that movie, you have to be in a mood for it. But the one Predator movie you really have to be in the mood for, because Everest is over it, and it's like the most fun of the whole franchise sequel with Danny Glover. That one to me is probably one of the best ones.
Yeah, and today I watched the Pixar movie Onward.
Oh right. Yeah. I know you didn't love it as much. I saw your Letterboxd rating.
Yeah, I thought it was I thought it was just fine. It's not terrible and it's not great, but it's just kind of serviceable to me.
Right. Frankie, you haven't watched it, correct?
Nope.
Yeah. So
So
we're gonna keep
we
away
won't
from.
spoil it
Yeah,
too
we're
much.
we're gonna keep away from spoilers. But I would recommend watching it because it's really, if it hits with you, it hits with you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I know there's a lot of cheese in it, and I think it's kind of.
I kind of just felt like there was no hook, I think.
Yeah.
There's nothing to really grab me, I think. And
Because
it just felt
the whole
really bland.
the Dungeons and Dragon aspect didn't indulge itself into it as much as it could have.
I thought it would have been better if it, like, there was more, magic in it. It wasn't
Yeah.
just these creatures
It also
do
felt a little too
something,
short
like
for that.
Yeah.
Um,
And I didn't really enjoy the dynamic between the two main characters.
I actually did, and I kind
Really,
of
I
like
didn't
what
really-
happens at the end. But that's fine because I know people
I didn't
didn't.
really like it. I thought it was kind of unsatisfying.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, I'll have to hear what Frankie thinks of it whenever he sees it, because I'll be interested to hear another opinion, because I've heard.
Yeah, it's
good
not a
and bad
bad
things.
movie,
Yeah, I would
but
say it's.
I just didn't. And they even stole a joke from Ratatouille.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was like a
Yeah.
vision gag.
Yeah.
Wait, a joke from my Ray? Is
Yeah.
that what I heard? Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
They just
honestly,
recycle it. The main character in the movie looks like Linguini.
That is, yeah, I can see that. It does definitely share a resemblance.
Oh, and speaking of that, really, I wasn't a big fan of the character designs.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, it didn't bother me too much. There's some characters that I found kind of annoying, but that's, yeah. Anyway, so that's so that's one of the movies that I watched out of my 45 movies. But there was also another movie that you guys didn't hear about because the first episode kind of got pushed to the dumpster. But
I
David,
recommended it.
Yeah,
I
what did
think
you
I'll
recommend?
introduce it. I recommended Full Metal Jacket, directed by Stanley Kubrick.
Ooh, who's that guy?
It's my favorite war movie. Some indie director, no one.
Yeah, no one knows him. I think he made like The Shining. It's just not that big of a movie.
How do you made The Room?
Starring Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's a really well done look at horror and like how it can affect you and like, and it's really what do you think of it?
So personally, I actually want to hear from Frankie because you're kind of a horror nut, and it did have some horror aspects to it. I will say, like it had.
It really did. To anyone that doesn't know, I was never really able to watch. David over here was like, hey, let's do a record. I'll show you it, and then boom. So I've only ever really seen what I thought was the ending until I was like, wait, that's not. But movie to me, like the intro, I love the opening because it's just like it's a really great opening on how it talks about like the military and how it prepares its soldiers to, like, because they have to train away like shit so that they can actually like deal.
It's a perfect introduction to Sergeant Hart.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and is really well shot. Like he just has a presence.
Yeah. By the way, yeah, saying really well shot. It is the cinematography is gorgeous, especially in the last act. It
Yeah.
is like it is beyond
Oh
insane.
yeah,
Like he.
it's
Mhm.
haunting, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I really love the guy. I think the drill sergeant. I love the guy that plays the drill sergeant because he served, I think, in wars previous for the movie,
Yes.
and he
Yeah.
pretty
I
much like
think
embodied the
some of
character
his
really well.
dialogue is ad libbed.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh yeah, I was thinking of about that. Yeah, because I was watching it. And I'm like, this really seems like real, and
Yeah.
I found myself most of the movie, I was never really pulled out of it because the dialogue felt so natural, um, and it didn't feel like it was scripted down from another person saying, okay, this is how a drill sergeant would talk. It felt and I think the drill sergeant played a very important role.
It was really realistic.
Yeah. And I
And watching it recently, I forgot how funny the movie was. It's like
Yes. Oh my
it's
goodness.
hilarious.
Yeah.
jelly donut.
Yeah, that was so funny.
um.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of, disturbing moments. Like,
Yeah.
I guess we're
Yeah,
I don't.
getting
Should we spoil
spoilers.
it? I don't think we should do spoilers because I don't know too many people who have
Okay.
watched it. But there is a moment
Yeah.
that comes around the halfway point.
The soap scene.
Yes, that was very
yeah.
shocking to say
And
the
I
least.
think Vincent D'Onofrio's performance is
Holy
really
cow! I
underrated.
didn't
Dude, it
even
was
realize that was him
disturbing.
until the end. I was like, oh, that was
I,
actually him.
Yeah, how he's able to transform, like for the for the half, well, not the first half, but like when he's first introduced, he's like it, and you could tell he's like a little bit, I guess, or has some mental problems or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. And he kind of seems innocent and dumb, and he makes mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Once that incident happened, he just transforms into this angry monster.
Yep.
It was so
it's like a
well
ticking
done.
time bomb, dude.
Yeah.
That's what he basically
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. That's a great way of putting it. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Um, and that's honestly, if I'm speaking truthfully, I think that's where my problems start to lie with it, is because I feel like the first half of the movie is a really good character study. And then the second half didn't interest me as much because I was so invested in some of the characters in the first half.
Yeah.
I still think I have to rewatch it because at the time I really wasn't into a war movie. And
Yeah.
so whenever that second half hits, I'm like, okay, this is kind of a little more of stuff that I've seen, but I still think it's a
Yeah.
really, really well made movie.
Yeah, I thought it was well done.
Yeah.
By the half structure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoyed the first half the most. I think the last half of the movie, like the last act, was like brutal to watch. Like I don't want to spoil
Yes.
anything, but the ending is really haunting. Like horror
Yeah.
elements wise, I love like how in the like I said earlier, Vincent D'Onofrio is like a taking time is like that actually did used to happen in the military, and it could still happen now. But that's why they have like I
And
think
like how
different
that
rules and
kind of
stuff.
system could go
Yeah,
wrong, and someone,
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
the way they get treated, they could, burst out.
Uh-huh. It was I just found because after the ending hit, I felt a little underwhelmed, but then I noticed that I kept thinking about it over and over. I'm like, that just really stuck with me.
Yeah, and the
it makes
soundtrack
you.
too. Their last
Yes.
scene.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, what did it use? One of my favorites, "Fortunate Son" by Creedence Clearwater. I'm like, that's
Oh,
like,
dude, yeah.
classic, classic.
Yeah, and it
Who's
really completed Sergeant Joker's arc.
Yes, I love him as a protagonist. He was really like such an
He
unexpected
was really
protagonist,
interesting.
but he had a lot of depth to his
He
character.
kind of reminded me of Garfield's character in Hacksaw Ridge, where like he didn't really want to be part of the
Mm-hmm.
violence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He kind of called he a little bit called out the military for it when he had the peace sign
Yep.
on his
Yep.
helmet. It said "Born to Kill," and it's
Yep.
kind of a really good examination on like how we get peace, like how we use violence as human beings.
Uh-huh. Um.
It was a really well done examination of that and of the military.
Yeah, and
But
his
it
character
wasn't in a
was.
way that was like pandering. This
Mm-hmm.
movie could
Yeah.
have been really pandering and dumb, but no, it takes a really, subtle approach to it.
And going back to what you said about Andrew Garfield, I feel like Andrew Garfield's character in Hacksaw Ridge was played more stereotypically and was common tropes that are used. Well, this one had a lot more depth and just had more to it. Was more of a 3D image. If that's a good way of explaining it. But you could really feel the emotions, and even whenever he wasn't talking, you could just feel it more than anything else. Yeah.
You know, also the actions are very well done in this movie,
Yep. Absolutely.
especially that last.
Yes. Yeah. I honestly, it's probably been 2 weeks, and I can't stop thinking about it. Especially the ending and that scene middle ish whenever it happens. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How would you rank this, like, compared with other Stanley Kubrick movies? I haven't watched The Shining, but I have watched um 2001,
Yeah,
and
this is obviously my favorite.
yeah, because
And it definitely has like a lot of some similarities with it,
absolutely,
with
yeah,
how it's shot.
yeah.
I think this is probably the only Stanley Kubrick movie I've seen, to be honest.
Okay, that's interesting.
I have to like look into some more,
I would,
but I feel like this is, yeah.
yeah. Since you're a horror nut, you gotta watch The Shining then. I haven't watched
Everyone tells me that.
it.
Mm.
But I also feel like 2001 is also really good, and towards the end, it gets into that more horror aspect ish. I don't know how to explain it. It's a wild ride though. Those last 20 minutes are insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I also watched what was the other one that I watched? It's one of his earlier films. Oh, that's what it was. Doctor Strangelove. That's what I watched.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I think I liked Doctor Strangelove more, but it had, compared to this, since Doctor Strangelove has a lot of sequences with guns and stuff like that. Doctor Strangelove takes like a black comedy approach to it, while this takes a more serious and gritty approach to it. But you can definitely see the similarities between them two, especially in cinematography and directing. It was just really interesting to see how his style transmitted over from years and years, because this was done pretty later towards his career, I'm pretty sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the one other thing I did enjoy about Full Metal Jacket probably had to be the casting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Everyone was
absolutely.
really well cast on this movie.
Everyone fit their role quite well. So
Adam Baldwin,
yeah,
almost every character he plays is like an asshole, and he does it really, really well.
But anyway, I'd as a rating, I'd probably give it a 7.5 or an 8. I'd say out of 10.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So
Obviously, I love it. I adore this movie a lot. It used to be my favorite movie, but I admire everything about this movie, and I think it's a really good analysis of war and like how it can dehumanize you and you could feel worthless.
yeah,
And it goes back to that line where he says, "Oh, you are all equally worthless."
yeah.
And yeah, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's a
Nice.
perfect.
Yeah.
I understand your opinion.
Yeah. I would also like to clarify that whenever I give something a 7.5 or an 8, anything that I give like an 8.5 makes it into my top like 30 or something like that. So I'm very harsh on movies. So if I were to be objective, I give it more a 4 out of 5. That's because on Letterboxd I normally give things more of an objective look with it. So yeah.
What would your rating be?
Either 9.5 or 10, to be honest. I just really
Wow.
love like, because like when you mentioned earlier like about the horror elements and how we got into it, I really do love how it gets somewhat psychological, because it's like with them a lot also.
Yeah, it's a really good character study.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of horror, I think this week or this episode, I shouldn't say week. It's Frankie's turn to recommend a movie. So, do you have one in mind, possibly for next episode?
Oh hell yeah, I do, dude. I don't know. I
What
said
is
dude
it?
twice. Well, since COVID-19 is pretty much just like making everyone stay in, horror movie that is scaring the crap sometimes. Aside from David watching Contagion over here, I had in mind 28 Days Later.
I'm at Danny
Okay.
Boyle.
Have not
Danny
seen that.
Boyle.
Have you guys seen any of Danny Boyle's movies?
No,
I think
don't
I've only
so.
seen this one.
I
So-
think Trainspotting is my favorite.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
I don't want to spoil 28 Days Later too much, but a little fun fact about it that I really enjoyed. It's shot not in like a movie camera in a way. It's shot like almost like if it's like that you're placed with the actual characters. because the sequel later on is like shot with a movie quality budget, and you can tell like the difference like right up front.
Oh, do you guys want to talk about that too? Yeah, maybe if we have time to watch it, we can mention that.
Mm-hmm.
It's 28 weeks later, right?
Yeah, the 28 weeks later is the one that's like shot more movie quality, while 28 days is like, in my opinion, it's really probably more scary than the sequel because the only thing it has that's really good for it is the opening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
28 Days Later has the best soundtrack for a horror movie. I do like that it's not like your average or stereotypical zombie movie. It's not like a Romero one either. It's just like what happened.
Yeah.
Rabies got there or something. Because that's what it's basically like. Yeah.
I've been wanting to watch this for a while because I really like Danny Boyle's style. It's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen anything from him. I really want to watch Trainspotting. That's been one.
Yeah, the sequel is not good, but the first one's really good.
Cool. Well, I think that's all we have to talk about. This is a bit of a shorter episode than last time, since last time we talked about, I don't know what, it was like 15 movies or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's it. But one thing that we do need is something to sign off with, kind of like a catchphrase. So I guess we have to think of that for the next time.
Yeah, it's gonna be really funny.
We should honestly make that probably like a tradition or something, wherever we have something different we say each time before we leave.
Yeah.
So for now, I'm just gonna say peace out. But do you guys have any interesting way of saying goodbye?
I'm just gonna say get stuckmanized.
I need to apply this. That's yeah. I need to get taller.
Well, yeah, I think that's it. That went well, and I guess we will see everyone who actually listens to this on the next episode.
Bye.
Peace out.
Watch horror movies. They're amazing.